Deconverted Man here. Gentleman by the name of Zach, the Shaken Fist, dropped a massive mic drop moment upon Alpha, who is an apologist-ish adjacent Catholic on YouTube, who I've interacted with in the past. I wanted to play that moment for you, and I wanted to talk about it. The ideas that it brings up for me and explore that with you. So here's that moment. And so the great scholar Dr. Alpha is who Zach is responding to in this. And so Alpha is, of course, part of the Catholic Church, and Zach has some words to say about that.
Holdsworth, who I've spoken out against many times on my channel.
Good.
I am not one of those Catholics, but I don't have an answer for you. That's just me being very blunt, and that's me answering as quickly as possible because I've talked way too much.
Yeah, but of course you don't have an answer because it's your religion. Your faith seems to be more important than literally anything else that it does. It doesn't matter if your church literally is like funded by the literally was set out by the Pope to move all these pedophiles around. It doesn't matter when your Pope says, hey, condoms cause AIDS and actually help it propagate. I know it stops sperm, but it definitely lets the HIV virus through, right? The fact that, oh, my faith is more important than literally all the suffering of the rest of the world is really one of the most pathetic things I have ever heard come out of a human's mouth. Oh, but it's my faith. I don't care if it's your faith. Your faith and your church do the most evil things in the world imaginable, and it has been doing it for nearly 1,500 plus years. The idea that it's just your faith is some of the most selfish bullshit reasoning I have ever fucking heard.
Wow.
Okay, so that wow moment, yeah, that silence after that was great, and BS, of course, breaking up with wow, and then later I came in and did shenanigans to end the stream. So I was thinking about this, what could the Catholic Church do to make up for its past sins or its current sins? And although those conversations are interesting, perhaps, different question came to my mind. Can good exist in evil? So here we have Alpha. And although he doesn't do this, he could make arguments against things about the Catholic Church. He could speak to people in power to try to sway them to change this, that, or the other, or perform X, Y, and Z actions that could be of a net benefit to society. And they'll listen to him because he's one of them. He's in the system. He's in the Catholic Church. He's a member. Perhaps he's an outstanding member. Maybe he gets to the position of a pastor himself or a cardinal. That guy, Word on Fire guy, I can't think of his name now, but he's quite prolific on YouTube and got known for kind of reviewing movies at first, and then he still was doing his Catholic thing and kind of like promoting a good Catholicism, if you will. And so if we had somebody working on the inside to make changes to the evil organization of X, whatever that is, I'm going to go with outlandish example and use myself as a way to kind of think this through. So I'm a white dude. hypothetically, I could join the KKK. Now, I don't know how I would do that. I have no idea where those guys are or how to join them. I don't know that I'd feel safe doing so, but hypothetically, I could. And then I could, get to know people, get a good reputation going, befriend people, and slowly say things here and there to individuals in a private manner that would chip away at their ideas, slowly nudge them away from the evils that they've done. But of course, I couldn't be open about it. I couldn't be on YouTube and say, yes, of course the KKK is evil. I'd have to defend it, because otherwise they'd throw me out and want nothing to do with me. And Alpha, well, he could be excommunicated if he said too many bad things about the Catholic Church. So, not that he is trying to change the church. I don't know, that's not really what he does. But I'm saying, if he was to do that, if that was his whole thing on his channel, was attempting to change it from the inside, would that be something valuable? Yeah, to some extent, yeah. They're going to listen to a guy on the inside. They're not going to listen to the people on the outside. So a guy on the inside working for and with the KKK, slowly, subtly trying to change them in positive direction, doing good, being in hell for heavenly sake, allowing themselves to be seen as a villain by everyone else. Well, secretly, they're not a KKK. They don't want anything to do with the KKK, but they want to make a difference. They're a really good guy, but on the outside, we wouldn't know that because they have to defend the KKK on the outside, and yet they're working for the good and slowly doing little things here and there that nudge it in the right direction. Can good exist in evil? And we don't need to do a hypothetical to ask this, because we know that this has happened in history. There were soldiers in the Nazi party who weren't Nazis. They were made into that because, they were told, hey, look, join the party or you and your friends and family will die. Well, that's not really much of a choice, so they joined, even if they disagreed with it. And secretly, they helped Jewish people escape. So they were doing good in the evil. So that I'm glad that they were doing good, but sad that they were partaking in the evil to some extent. If the person had said no, they would have been killed on the spot, and that would have been the end of them. Of course, in our extreme situation, there's different than other situations. What happened during the World War II time and era is not equivalent to what's going on in any given group of individuals we don't like today. You could join ISIS and try to change them from inside, but you're not compelled to by force to do that. And for all we know, there are operatives that are trying to do that. Maybe. I don't know. No idea. But is that really possible, to be this good moral person that wants to make a difference, but yet surround yourself in the evil? Literally being in hell, but trying to change the devil's mind about how to run things. I don't know the answer. I really don't. That's why I'm asking the question. Can you be a good person trying to change things in an evil system? Well, yeah. But how good of a person are you if you stay in that evil system. And you could say, well, I stay there because I recognize that I could make a bigger difference by staying in than by being outside of it. And that might be the case. It might be even demonstrably demonstrable that they will listen to people on the inside, but they will not listen to people on the outside. But is there then some sort of ethical, moral thing that I'm not thinking about that says, no, this is wrong? You can't enter an evil organization, or what we might call evil organization, and you did it for a good reason, but you're defending it. That's bad. But but I'm defending it so that I can join it, so I can then change it from inside. And it's like, it's very difficult for me to sort that out. And the Catholic organization is pretty bad. I don't know if it's the worst thing out there. I think there's things that are very bad about different organizations that exist. Certainly, they hid pedophiles. Certainly, they've caused harm when they could have helped instead. Certainly, they've promoted things that make no sense. But are there worse things out there? Yeah. Oh, yeah. The various terrorist organizations that grew out of Islamic belief systems. Well, Islam's religion of peace. They're not real Muslims. Well, they're doing what the book says. They're killing people that are non-Muslim. That's what the book says. I'm glad that there's peaceful people that are part of that religion, but the religion's still bad. And there's people on the outside trying to change that religion, but maybe they're not as effective as those inside trying to change it. So, I don't try to deconvert anybody. I don't try to make people not believe in God. I don't know that I could even if I wanted to. I don't do that for a number of reasons, but the most highest reason is I had negative emotions that first year going through deconversion. It was rough. I don't want anyone else to suffer like that. I value the truth, though. I'm going to tell people what I think is true. I'm going to tell them not only I don't believe in God, I think there isn't a God except in the mind. That's the only place God exists is in your brain, as far as I can tell. Now, I say as far as I can tell because, well, that's honest. I can make good arguments against various different gods. I think I can make good arguments. But I'm not going to be able to make you not believe. That's your journey. It's Alpha's journey that he's on, where he currently believes in God, and that belief in God is conjoined and tied up in also being part of the Catholic Church. And if one goes, maybe the other goes. And wouldn't it be better for the rest of us to have him on our side, quote unquote? Be a skeptic. It's more fun. We have cookies. Well, we don't really have cookies. Should have been skeptical about the cookies. Okay, well then, he's speaking out against the Catholic Church because he knows a lot about it, but then maybe they don't listen to him because he's on the outside now. What would be better? If I could encourage him, oh yeah, stick with the Catholic Church, but fight against them more. Be more proactive on that front. That'd be an encouraging thing to do. But it's kind of like, I don't want to do that because it's like, do I want him to be part of the church? I don't know. I don't. It's not that I want him to be part of the church or not. It's his life. It's not mine to tell him what I want him to do or not. I focus on. I look at the arguments. I go, look, your arguments suck, Alpha. We've covered this. We've talked about that. We talked about how Plato is wrong. Okay, we've covered that. And if you want to think after that conversation, Plato's right, okay, well, whatever. But I come across every now and then these ethical quandaries that I don't know what to do with. And so I bring it to you guys, girls and robots out there, of this question that I've summarized as, can good exist in evil? And although I personally wouldn't join an organization that I didn't like, even if I believed, or if I knew I could change it from within, maybe if I knew absolutely I could change it from the better from within, I would. But belief alone, I don't think would be enough. And certainly it'd be difficult because you're trashing your own reputation. It's like, hey, Deacon Verdeman, you heard that he joined those guys? Yeah, that was pretty wild. He came out as a Christian last week. What's up? But then I'd have to, I couldn't, I'd have to lie, and I don't like, I value the truth, so I couldn't do it. But somebody else could. Should I encourage that? Should we encourage that? Hey, join some evil organization and change it from within. Or let's just fight against that evil organization. We would need maybe a study. If maybe there exists some study to show us, what's the better, can an what's the more likelihood of changing an organization from within or from without? And let's see what the data says. Or is it different for every organization? And how long are we going to try to do this? And how many people are going to be involved? And I mean, if everyone left the Catholic Church, then there wouldn't be a Catholic Church anymore. So, but that's a lot of people to ask to leave. So if we're going to be stuck with it, let's try to change it. And, anyway, so can a good person be in an evil thing? Yeah, I think so. And what that has some value to it. Some good is done there. But is it right? Is it ethical? And I don't know. And for me, ethics is a personal matter. My ethics are mine. Yours are whatever yours are. Maybe you don't even know what ethical system you hold to. The only one I reject outright is DCT, Divine Command Theory. That's a terrible ethical system. Nobody should hold it. The other ones I'm not so sure about because I haven't explored them in depth. I kind of took a glance at utilitarianism and I was like, yeah, I can remember that one. I'll go with that on a very surface level. Very surface, not deep about it. But some people are really deep into their ethical systems and know them very well. I'm not that, and I don't know. I'm like, what do we do? How do we change the world? Or how do we change this thing? But I am reminded, I heard, or I don't remember if I heard or read the story, but regardless of this guy, this black man that befriended a KKK guy, and then that guy, eventually stopped being a KKK guy. And it's like, so he changed the man by being his friend. He changed him with love. And if you're like, hey, I'm a religious person, you look at the Bible, you go, hey, Paul, that guy, he was against a lot of things that early churches were doing. Some people really disliked Paul for a number of reasons. It's like, but he was trying to fix the church, for better or worse, whether his authority was real or completely made up. It was completely made up. But he was trying. He did something. He wrote the churches. Does anybody do that anymore? Does anybody write the church and say, hey, here's what's going on? And reflecting on myself again, because I'm narcissistic and I like myself, I emailed these nitwits that are doing this fat study. God. I'll show that because it's semi related. Fat studies, a special issue on indigenously fattily indigenous, a special edition by these authors, and they want to get people to submit studies or so write up a very in-depth study about all these things, developing indigenous fat studies, indigenous experiences of fatness, fat, all fat positive bullshit that's absolutely incoherent and flies in the face of modern medicine. Being fat is bad for you. So I emailed these nitwits because I got their email. And I said, shame on you. Shame on you for what you're doing. And I got a response, which blew me away that I got a response. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And they said, reconverted man. And I'm like, you can't even spell my name right. No, they said something stupid in response. I'd have to pull up the email to remember what they said. And I was just like, you guys, I just said, shame on you. Because I couldn't think of anything else to say but to repeat what I'd already said. Just shame on you. Where was it? What did they say? No, reconverted is correct. Clearly returned to some state of being before any evolution of thought. Find someone else to bother. This guy has a PhD. Yeah. But reconverted is returned to the state before evolution of thought. That makes no sense. That's not deconverted, and reconverted would be. It's not even what reconverted would be. So, and this guy's got a PhD or gal. I don't know which it is, but yeah. Anyways, my point is, emailing them I didn't think would have any impact at all. I really didn't. I didn't think they'd respond, but I was like, I gotta say something. And they came across my radar because I watched Gad Sad, and he brought this up, and I was like, come on, people, you can't be serious. They're trying to make this academic and seem like it's something intelligent and useful to do. It's like, are you kidding? What happened to academia? How is this a thing? Clearly, you don't know biology. I mean, what? Come on. What? And they think it's of value. They really believe it's valuable to celebrate fatness, explore fatness. What's it like to be a fat person that's also indigenous? Who cares? What does that mean? Like, how don't they celebrate fat people in some ancient culture? Maybe. I don't know. It's like, but we know it's bad for you. Why? It's like, let's celebrate smoking cigarettes. That should be the next thing, But at any rate. But somebody in their group that joined them at their level maybe they could change things. Maybe they could make them see the light of reason. And that would be the only way to change them is from within and not from without. Maybe. I don't know. And if it is the only way to change it, then good must exist in evil. And we skeptics, atheists, agnostics, non-believers, whatever, we argue online about religion, about God, about these ideas that we humans have. What's been called the most important question of whether there's a God or not. I don't think it's the most important question, but it is a question. And at the end of the day, we're all human. We could all be wrong about everything. It's like, the actual answer is fill in the blank, and we're all just wrong. And dang nabbit. Why didn't we see that before, And we're trying, hopefully we're all trying to do something positive in this world in our own weird, wacky ways. And for the religious, that means to spread their religion because, well, it's about love and about sharing love. When I was Infinite Hope, I focused primarily on that I didn't want people that didn't believe in God to miss out on the feeling of God. I don't want you to miss out on this feeling of God. And I remember I said something like, one time I said something like, it's like I'm trying to get you to go parachuting with me, but you don't even believe there's an airport, let alone an airplane or a parachute for that matter. And it's like this experience of parachuting I want you to experience with me, and I can't even get you to believe that there's an airport. And of course, as I learned and deconverted, I learned that not all people can experience God at all, even those that are religious, because the brain doesn't work the same way for everybody. And that even when you're not religious, you can experience a thing that others call God, but you don't call it God anymore because, well, you just call it another emotion. And we don't have a good term for it other than spiritual, but it's another feeling that we can feel. And there's ways to make yourself feel that feeling that are completely disconnected from religion. But not everybody can access that part of their brain. So although I can guide myself in meditation to feel certain sensations, those techniques might not work on somebody else. So I focus instead on what can be known. The feelings are feelings, and they're interesting and amazing and wonderful to feel, but what about the facts? That's all I can deal with. At the end of the day, I can deal with logic. I can deal with what is or isn't true, what can be reduced to some, algorithm of A equals B equals C equals D. I can deal with that, whether it's abstract or made less abstract. I can deal with that. I can make some sort of sense of that. I can't make sense of these emotion stuff too much, even though I myself, of course, am subject to those emotions. I can't make sense of them in myself. I can't make sense of them in others to some extent. And when every now and then where it's like, here's something that's, I thought, profound of, can good exist in evil? What can I say about, I need to say something about this. I need to ask people what they think. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Now, while I've been speaking, I've been ignoring the insane amounts of chats that I'm getting on the side. as I have to do in order to do a spiel like this. And so now I need to focus on chat and respond to some, if not all of that. So for those of you watching later on, maybe you don't care about that and you can stop now. Otherwise, keep watching. Okay. Let's go all the way back up. Oh my word. Wowee! Yeah. You're late. Yeah, I know. D-man for Pope. Right, exactly. Working to save the KKK. Why? Is there a reason they should be saved? Well, I mean, hypothetically, if you saved them, they wouldn't exist anymore. You know, if you successfully unwound that Gorgadi, that impossible to undo knot, that's name I can't pronounce, Gorgadian, whatever. The knot, you know, undid that. If you undid them from within, then they wouldn't exist anymore. Or at least that one branch of them wouldn't exist, or they wouldn't be a hate group anymore. And so by saving them, you get rid of them, or you get rid of the evil elements of them, and then they become something benign and not to be worried about. So that's some Nazis were good, maybe, but saving the Nazi party was not the thing that should have happened. Well, again, you know, the salvation from the evil is the evil's destroyed, but it's destroyed by good rather than more evil. Now, what evil is and all that is kind of abstract, but the saving of it, or the doing good is to reduce the harm that the thing is doing overall, is what I'm kind of getting at here. Hitting the like is free. Love you, DM. Thank you, Ian Devonport. Do I know that name? I don't know. What up, y'all? Word up. Really, bro? Just kidding. Yeah, I'm not talking about you, Alpha, but I am talking about you. The Kremlin's document shows how much they don't care. The idea that compressed society is a joke. Yeah, so I've never read that document. I don't know what it says, but yeah, they're you know, the Catholic Church, you know, is bad. You know, what can we do about it? You know, kind of thing. The movie Dogma, Chris Rock says you shouldn't have religion, you have beliefs. I like that line in the movie. No, I don't think he says that. What is it that he says? People die for it, people kill for it, the whole existence. Let's see. Hold on. It's a good movie. It's been a while, so I have to find the quote. The whole existence is in jeopardy right now because the Catholics' belief structure regarding the planetary indulgence bullshit. They're exploiting the belief, and all of this ends all over a belief. Let's see. Man, about what was it? Idea. I think he said something about an idea. Okay, there we are. I found it. I found the thing. You misquoted in the movie. How dare you? Blasphemy against the Dogma movie. All right. Rufus Bethany says having beliefs isn't good. I think it's better to have ideas. You can change an idea. Changing a belief is trickier. So you should have an idea, is what he said there. And yeah, I mean, I can change my ideas given that I've given an argument for it or evidence or whatever, but a belief is harder to change. A belief. Being attacked to a religion is condoning their, or being attached, I think he meant to say. Being attached to a religion is condoning their actions. Believing in God, following rules, understand that doesn't mean you've got to be part of the religion. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be part of a religion to be religious. You could be, that's not really the question I'm focusing on too much here. Although I know that this is the Shaken Fist is the guy Zach, and he and Alpha were the ones talking, so of course they're here in chat to talk about me talking about them. But this kind of their converse or his it spurred me to think about this question of good versus evil, and hypothetically, like, well, Alpha's in the system, maybe he could make a change in the system that he's in, and they'll listen to him because he's in the system. They're not going to listen to me. I'm not in the system. I'm not part of the Catholics. Why would they care about me? But on the other hand, if Alpha says the wrong things, hypothetically, they could excommunicate him. So it's a fine line to walk. Not that he's necessarily trying to change it or anything like that, or that he needs to, or that he should, or whatever. I'm not trying to tell him what to do or not to do, whatever. But anyways, let's see. Okay, being part of a country doesn't mean you condone all the actions of that country. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like, our country has its checkered history, and yeah, I'm a citizen of it. And it's like, to me, my philosophy of the past is dead. The past, there's nothing we can do about the past. All we can do is, from this point moving forward, is to be the best person we can. Or in the case of a country, nation, or state, or whatever, collection of people, America can't make up for the slavery that it did. But from this point moving forward, we can choose not to engage in slavery and to condone it and to try to prevent it. And, that's all we can do. We can't undo what we because we didn't even do that. We didn't even participate in that. Those people are long dead. So, and as far as reparations, that's nonsense to me, because first locating people that deserve the reparations is extraordinarily difficult, and then you're just handing out money and who's paying for it, and it doesn't really make sense. And then you're doing another problem, which is basically you're saying it's fine to have a slave if eventually you pay back somebody X amount of money that makes up for it. So basically you just put a price tag on a human, which is exactly what slavery is. So let's not do that, but we want to make up for it. And that's where the forgiveness thing of religion, that's almost, I don't know if it's universal in all religions, but a lot of religions focus on forgiveness. And maybe that's part of why, is because we humans, there's things I've done in my past that I can't ever undo. I can't apologize for. Coming to my brain for whatever reason, I think because I was watching a thing about Transformers, as some playing with Transformer toys, and I took the Decepticon Transformer. I didn't have the Decepticons, that many of them, and I took the jet home, and I played with it, but tried to do so nobody saw me. But of course they saw me, and it's like, where'd you get that? It's like, give it back. And so, well, I didn't remember who the bleep I took it from, and I put it on the playground, just on the ground. And I was like, I think I prayed that they would get it or something at the time. I was really young. And there's no way I can apologize to whoever that kid is. I don't even know who it was. I'm sorry that I stole your toy way back when, you know. If I could go back in time and fix it, I would, you know. So the idea of being able to say, hey, God, sorry about that, and that God's forgiven me, that makes me feel better. You know, there's a compelling feeling there, but it's not true, because me saying into the air, hey, kid from the past that I stole the jet plane transformer from, sorry, they're never going to hear that. Unless they're watching right now or they're watching this video later, and the odds of that are astronomically high, you know. So, but hey, if you are listening, sorry about that, you know. Anyways, okay, that's kind of a thing. And then they're arguing with each other down in chat, because of course they are. I can't be a priest. I'm married. See, that's silly. That shouldn't be a thing. They need to change that. So, you can renounce your citizenship. Yeah, I mean, I don't think doing that would be a good idea, but yeah, you can. So they're arguing with each other, trying to see if anything is towards me. Okay, being part of the group doesn't mean you condone every action of that group. Yeah. I mean, yeah, being part of any group doesn't mean you condone the actions of the group automatically, but people might assume that about you. And I think that some groups are more shunned than others, and for good reasons, you know. There was, for example, a group, loose group. I don't know how much of a group it was on X or Twitter before it was X. And maybe you've heard about them. They were called MAPs, and they were called a minor attracted person. And then there was no MAP, which was non-offending minor attracted person. And it was a bunch of people, not you know, that were trying to say, hey, we're attracted to minors, but you know, we're not doing anything about it. We just want you to know that, and we're not trying to say that it's good that we are. We just want to be accepted or whatever. And people were like, nope, not gonna happen. You know, not on our watch, you know, and everybody pretty much rejected it, and then poof, they went away, and I don't think we've heard about them since. And they didn't really have any group to continue its existence. It and you know, nothing formed, no, as far as I know, maybe it did. I haven't looked it up. I'd be scared to look it up to find out. But you know, like you hear the term LGBT, and there are groups that make money from being an LGBT entity, like the American Atheist or whatever, right? So the American Atheist, well, where does all the money for that thing come from? Well, whoever joins the American Atheist gives them money so that they can exist as a group of people, and do whatever the bleep they do. And in a similar way, different various groups do that for LGBT movement, and the maps never got to where that they could do that. And even if they did, I think they'd be shut down pretty quickly. Because although there's a psychological reason why somebody might be attracted to minors, that's a difference of me accepting them at some levels. Like, that's a line I can't cross. Like, I want to cure you. I want you cured so that you're not that way anymore. But you're not asking me to do that. You're asking me to accept that you're that way, as if you're part of the LGBT plus whatever thing. And everyone said no to that. So, and I'm like, yeah, I'm also saying no to that. So if they had become legitimate in that they had a group, I think people would shun the hell out of them. You know, and that's an extreme example. But imagine if they were like, hey, no, doing this is good, you know. Oh man, definitely people would hate on them then. And well, you know, so anyways, yeah, I'm going to extremes to try to explain you know, what I'm asking. Religion is different. It wants you, or you might go to hell. Yeah, religion plays on the fears of humans, and abuses the psychology of humans in order for we humans built religion for us, and religion evolved with us over time. So the positives and negatives of religion are our own fault. Now, was it by design that we made that so entrapful, or is it by evolutionary things, combination thereof? I think it's combination, you know. But yeah, there's a lot of mind viruses in religion that snare onto your brain and make it so that, you know, believe or else. And so then you're scared into believing it, you know. It and you know, it reminds it, there's this it's a no winning game. It's a game that you can't win unless you don't play. Like, why would I believe that there is a hell in the first place? Now religion loses all its power because you can't threaten me with something I don't believe in. Oh, well, afterlife, well, I don't believe in an afterlife. You can't threaten me now. I don't believe in God. You can't threaten me with God because I don't believe in it. So, and I would say that a logical being that is purely logical would never threaten people anyways. So a real God, at least from my perspective, would have to be a God of logic. And I did a video about that a while back, the God of logic. But that God would not care if we believed or didn't believe in it, and it wouldn't threaten us. It wouldn't commit logical fallacies like ad Balium in the first place. So that defangs religion to some degree for me, but not for others. So, you know, it is different in that sense than, you know, but again, my question that I'm asking here in this video of can good exist in evil, I think yes, definitely good can exist even in religion, and certainly there are many good people in religion, and so all right, okay, let's see, catching up now. I suck? Me? Well, I do actually suck. But it's going to cost you. So pay up. I don't know who that's to. If that's directed at me or Shaken or Fanta or somebody else. And I don't know. But yes, Flute Whistle, I do indeed suck. What's your argument? Yahweh is evil. Yeah. Well, okay. So the whole, yeah, that's kind of a different topic of, you know, Yahweh and El Shaddai and all that. You know, Yahweh is an interesting pagan deity. and the Yahweh of the Bible is very different than the pagan Yahweh in a way, but also there's similarities. So there's a definite evolution of it, and because the original Torah, you'd have to go into that, and there's more than one God. Like they don't say God every time, and sometimes it's God, sometimes it's El, sometimes it's Yahweh. It's and so there's an argument to be made that they're different gods, and that Yahweh just wanted to be the top God for the Hebrew people, but it wasn't the only God. There was other gods like that really existed in that pantheon, and it's just Yahweh wanted to be number one. And eventually the Jewish people, for whatever reasons, decided it was just easier to go towards monotheism, and then they edited out the other gods by renaming them all God, or as they write it, G-D, because you can't write the word God, and God is fine with loopholes. So, anyways, but yeah, and then of course, Yahweh also had Asherah, his wife, and that, of course, not even in the Bible at all. So, but yeah, I mean, but that's not the video I'm doing here. The video is, can good exist in evil? That's the question. Dang it, chat! I know you're in your own universe, but nice after show. I don't know that this is an after show, but I'm glad you enjoyed it, Alpha, and nothing bad against Alpha or Shaken Fist, or I'm not singling. I don't have anything against these people. Obviously, that should go without saying, but I'm saying it anyways. I absolutely do have things against the Catholic Church, but that's not going to do any good. They don't care, There's not a single door to nail my complaints to. Maybe I should find a Catholic church and be like, here's the things that are wrong, and put it on their door and see what happens. It might get in the news. Who knows? I don't know. I doubt it somehow, but anyway, so that's, Jainism is, I've heard about the Jainism thing, that their whole deal is to be peaceful or whatever, and so, like, if you're an extreme Jainist, that you just wouldn't do anything or whatever. I don't know that much about that religion, but yeah, I think that would be, if there's certainly benign religions possible or in existence, and I don't know. I would say certainly, with an asterisk after it, because even though I said the word certainly, I mean there's possibly. So sometimes I say words that I didn't really mean, and anyways, all right. So yeah, yeah, that's it. That's my question. Can good exist in evil? And I think it can, but how much is, what do you do with that? How much, and maybe the question is what was asked in Man of La Mancha, and it's asked. It's done in song. It's not really a question. It's more of an idea. The Man of La Mancha, the musical, to march into hell for a heavenly cause. Because doing that's like the best good that you could do. So to go where the worst stuff is and try to do the best that you can, there's a nobleness there. I don't know how to do that. I don't know that I am doing that. But I hope to figure that out one day, and to do something noble like that one day, if I haven't already done it and I just don't know. All right, nothing is black or white. Well, yeah, it's all shades of gray. Yeah, that's a Monkey song. All these shades of gray, but today there is no day or night. Today there is no dark or light. Today there is no black or white. Only shades of gray. Da, da, da. Yeah, anyways. All right. What's my deal with singing lately? I don't know. Is the blind god good or evil? I don't know. Monkey, 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 monkey. All right. Well, try to be a good person and answer this question that I asked in the comments. And I don't think any of you are going to leave any comments. You all suck. That's why. Damn it. Well, maybe telling you guys that you suck will make you not want to post a comment. You don't suck, but only if you post a comment. Otherwise, you suck. And not in a good way either. Anyways. All right. Thanks for watching and listening or whatever the hell this was. I don't know. And hopefully it made you think about stuff. Until next time, be skeptical. And after that, stay skeptical.